Who is Tingle? What is Tingle? Why is there so much sexual fan art of Tingle out there? I mean, seriously, look at that! Look at that! Hello everyone and welcome to the hottest Zelda theory video on the internet right now. I'm Tingle Believer 69 and today I'm going to make you question everything you thought you knew about the Zelda series. Most people think Tingle's just an obnoxious man-child in a green outfit, but he is so much more than that. He is an idea. He is a philosophy. He is a hero of time. That's right, I believe that Tingle and the Hero of Time are in fact the same person, and I intend to prove that in this very video. Now to keep things simple, I will only be talking about mainline Zelda games and in-person actual Tingle appearances. I will not be talking about any Tingle Easter eggs, and I will also not be talking about any of the Tingle spin-off games, because if I have to discuss the Tingle spin-off games, then I'm gonna have to discuss stuff like this. Boom, boom, boom. And I really don't want to talk about what we just saw there. So let's stick to the main Zelda timeline and get started on this theory. Now I will admit, this theory is not new. No, I have been trying to convince people about this for the better part of a decade, but nobody's been listening to me. I tried sharing it on some Zelda forums, and the only responses I got were,
I'm not sure if this is a joke or not, but if it isn't, it is the single stupidest thing I have ever read.
Sorry, but you missed April's Fool Day.
I honestly don't know what to say. The fact that you put such effort into making all these images makes me think you actually believe this theory.
I tried to convince these skeptics by using state-of-the-art facial recognition software used only by the CIA and FBI to show that their faces are identical. But even then, they wouldn't listen to me.
Fred and George's faces are nearly identical. Therefore, they are the same person. Do you realize how that sounds?
I'll be honest, at this point, I was feeling rather defeated. Not only was I all alone in my bubble of truth, but now I was being made fun of as well. I should have known people would never take me seriously with a username like TingleBeliever69. See, everyone thinks the 69 is a sex thing, but in truth it really isn't. 69 simply stands for the pieces of evidence I have collected over the last decade proving my theory. 69 pieces of evidence in total. They range from obvious, slap-in-the-face truths to more obscure and cryptic nuggets that Nintendo has provided us. Now, I obviously won't discuss all of them in this video, but know that I will highlight a few as we go through. So you might be wondering to yourself, why even go through the effort of making this video if so many people were non-believers? Because slowly but surely, more and more Tingle believers started to make themselves known. Gamtos, Queen Insane, JP the Typo, Alex, Jinga Jings, even the Moon of Termina itself were all coming to my defense, and I knew this was a video I had to make. So this one's for you, fellow believers. To begin, we have to look at the Zelda timeline. More specifically, we have to look at Tingle's very first canonical appearance, the Minish Cap. Now in this game, Tingle appears in Hyrule Field, wanting to fuse Kinstones with Link. For those of you who have never played Zelda Minish Cap before, Kinstones are mysterious stones made by the Minish that generate happy events when fused. Now in Tingle's case, he's hoping the happy event will be him turning into a fairy. This doesn't happen though. See, I believe that instead, the Kinstone fusion accomplishes the next best thing, reincarnating Tingle into someone who has a fairy, the Hero of Time. See, this explains why Tingle doesn't appear in the Four Swords game that takes place after the Minish Cap, and that's why we're moving straight to Ocarina of Time. Now, the main story of Ocarina of Time is not very important to our theory. Essentially, Tingle, having been reborn as the Hero of Time, finally gets his own fairy, Navi, has to save the kingdom, blah blah blah, but the ending of Ocarina of Time is where things get really interesting, as the various endings branch off into different Zelda timelines. The first possible timeline is that of the Fallen Hero, aka the Fallen Tingle. In this timeline, the Hero of Time loses the fight against Ganondorf and dies. Zelda games that take place in this timeline are A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, the original Zelda, and Zelda 2. Obviously, this timeline is not of much interest to us either. I mean, not only does the Hero of Time fail, but Tingle only appears in Oracle of Ages and in a minor capacity. Clearly, after dying in Ocarina of Time, he's reborn as Tingle, but he's embarrassed, so he tries to keep to himself and doesn't really do much. Not interesting. But what if Tingle succeeds in defeating Ganondorf? What if Ganondorf is successfully sealed within the void of the evil realm? What happens to Tingle then? Well, the Zelda from the adult timeline will send Tingle back to his own timeline so that he can regain his lost youth. And in doing so, Zelda creates two separate timelines. The current adult timeline, in which Tingle no longer exists and Ganondorf is sealed away, and the child timeline, where Link goes back to being a child, and where Ganondorf is stopped before he can even enact his evil plans. The first possible timeline this will lead to is the adult Tingle timeline, which consists of Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. It's fairly straightforward. After the Hero of Time, aka Tingle, is sent back in time by Zelda at the end of Ocarina of Time, the world is left without a Tingle. Sadness ensues. I mean, Hyrule is flooded by the tears of everyone missing Tingle. But eventually, a new Tingle is born, and thus he appears in Wind Waker. Simple stuff, really. Let's not get bogged down with this, and instead focus on the other, more important timeline. The Child Tingle timeline. The timeline that the Hero of Time gets sent back to at the end of Ocarina of Time. Games that take place in this timeline are Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Four Swords Adventures. Now, the unenlightened, the non-believers, the fools among us here might tell you that this is where the theory falls apart. I mean, clearly Tingle here is seen talking to the Hero of Time, right? So how could they possibly be the same character? But let us remember the beginning of Majora's Mask, people. We start with Link on his horse and, in true Tingle fashion, looking for a fairy. And while searching for Navi, he encounters Skull Kid. Oh no! He gets knocked off of Epona, tries to get back on, but he eventually falls down a cliff and winds up in Termina, the setting of Majora's Mask. Is Termina a foreign land? A different dimension? Did Link die and is this purgatory? Who knows? I don't. But what I do know is this. Almost every character in Termina has a Hylian counterpart. Toto and King Zora, Darmani the Third and Darunia, Postman and Running Man, Mr. Barton and Talon. But what about these two? Neither Link nor Tingle has a counterpart. Unless, of course, they are each other's counterparts. That's right, the Tingle from Termina is simply the Hero of Time's own counterpart, showing what he used to look like in his previous life. That's why there's no Tingle in Ocarina of Time's Hyrule, and why there's no Link in Majora's Mask's Termina. The next game, chronologically, is Twilight Princess. Now, a lot of fans were outraged at the time when it came out, because, quite understandably, they thought Tingle wasn't in the game, which would have been blasphemous, but there was a very good reason he wasn't. You see, Tingle, aka the Hero of Time, had died and was a ghost. He actually was in Twilight Princess, but he appears as the hero Shade, having died without passing down his skills to the next generation, to Tingle Juniors. Spirit of the Hero of Time, aka Tingle, is forced to spend his time in the ghostly ether. It isn't until he teaches the new Link all of his hidden skills that the Hero of Time's spirit is finally able to rest in peace, to be reborn as a Tingle again one day. Now, I'm embarrassed to admit this because I never picked up on this subtle clue, but Gamtos on the Zelda forum noticed that if you look very carefully, you can tell Tingle is actually the hero Shade via dialogue. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is, helping the new Link allows the Hero of Time to finally stop being a ghost, and instead he is once again reincarnated into our one and only lovable Tingle. Hence why he's able to appear in Four Swords Adventures as himself. And there you have it. Every appearance by the Hero of Time and Tingle explained in this perfect timeline explanation. Of course, some people are still going to be naysayers, like these losers on Reddit.
Thanks. I hate it.
When, where, how has this been confirmed? I've never heard about this before.
Yeah, just because some things line up doesn't make it confirmed.
Have you ever seen me and Batman in the same room together? No. Now what does that tell you? Absolutely nothing! Your proof is circumstantial at best. Tingle is a confused, middle-aged man with Peter Pan syndrome who's probably suffering from a severe midlife crisis. The man needs serious counseling, not fanboys perpetuating his delusions.
But to them I say, it is not too late to join this movement. Maybe these last remaining facts will open your eyes. Fact number 1. This is the Triforce. The golden-colored part is the Triforce of Courage. What happens if we hold the Triforce up to Tingle's face? Boom, that's right. Look at where his mole's located. Right on top of the Triforce of Courage. What is that, coincidence? Of course not. Still not convinced? Maybe you prefer numbers and data? Well, bam! Fact number 2. Tingle and the Hero of Time have identical poop schedules. How is this possible? Did they sync up poop schedules? Of course not. You can't do that. The only explanation is that they are the same person. Also, Taco Tuesday has some serious downsides on Wednesday, but... Fact number 3. You didn't even realize that I photoshopped Tingle's head onto Link's body here. That's because they literally have the same face. Fact number 4. Link fits perfectly into Tingle's clothes. They clearly have the exact same size. Absolutely no tailoring was needed. And finally, fact number 5. Mr. Nintendo himself called me up once and told me that my theory is correct, and that the original title was going to be Zelda Ocarina of Tingle. There's even old video footage of him admitting that I am correct. Hello, I am Mr. Nintendo, and I'm here to say that Tingle Believer 69 is right. I'm so happy I could cry. Ha ha. So there you have it. Undeniable proof that Tingle is the hero of time. Of course, this does leave us with one final loose end, though. Tingle's brothers. Ankle, Knuckle, and the adopted David Jr. Link doesn't have 3 brothers. So is this where the theory falls apart? Oh no, people. This is where we actually uncover Nintendo's deepest, darkest secret ever. See, there are 4 Links in the 4 Sword games. We have Green Link, Purple Link, Blue Link, and Fiery Red Link? But Tingle's 3rd brother doesn't wear red. We have 4 Links and 4 Tingles, but only 3 matching colors, so how does this make sense? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. Look at these handsome fellas. Notice how David Jr. looks different from the other 3? That's because he's adopted. That's right, Nintendo has been hiding a red-clothed Tingle sibling from us. But who is it? Who is this mysterious Tingle brother that has seemingly vanished from Hyrule? Who did David Jr. replace? We know this character wears red, is a Nintendo character, has a big bulbous nose, and has facial hair. Who could it be? Any ideas? Oh, you know it. Yes, that's right. Tingle's long-lost brother is none other than Super Mario!